What's up, everybody? Good Friday to you. I'm your boy Retro Bliss, and this is Retro Bliss Gaming. And today we're going to play some Atari and look into Atari, but we're not going to do it in the traditional way. We're going to look into it with the Atari 50th celebration. I bought this a while back, and I actually looked into this in a previous video. And to be really honest about it, after I did that, I had not looked into it at all after that. And so I was looking into what I wanted to stream today, and I thought it would be prudent and nice to look into it and maybe even go through some of the actual commentary in some of the video. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to look into this, and we're going to see what's in this. We're going to go into some of the gameplay, obviously, but we're definitely going to look into some of the commentary because some of you guys may not have seen some of this. The games on this collection, most of you have seen and probably have in your collection anyway. But we're going to look into this. So without further ado, let's get into this and see what's on this collection. So here we are. I'm actually playing this on Xbox One. So let's make sure. There we go. Okay. I'm going to turn up my my volume here a little bit, just so I can kind of hear what's going on. Okay, now there's a it's kind of broken into sections here, and I'm not exactly sure how this works. There's like a game library and then kind of a history library here. Oh, Darren McCallum's in, and so is Cannabis Kid. Actually, I'm glad both of you are here. Cannabis Kid, I sent you an email. I got your list of games. I actually downloaded them, but I'm a little confused about how to get the games going, especially the NES homebrews for the KISS games and some of the other games. Not exactly sure how to do that. I think they're IPS games. I'm not sure. I think you have to do something with them, and I'm kind of ignorant on how to do some of that. So if you could shoot a tutorial on how to do some of that. But anyway, we're gonna explore some of this collection here, some of the history. We may look at some of the videos and play some of them, just so you guys can kind of see. And we're going to go through the game library. We're not going to actually play a lot of the games. We're going to play a few of them, but I want you to kind of see what's on this collection. And for those of you who are interested in this collection, I've got links in the description of where you can actually purchase this collection. It's a pretty good collection if you'd like to have it. So we're going to go through the arcade origins and see what's in this section. It has been a while since I've looked at this, and until I just booted this up, I don't remember what's in here. So let's get into it. Okay, in the beginning. All right, so it just talks about it's kind of a narrative here. All right, talks about the first computer arcade game, and then it goes into Pong and the beginning of Atari and how the first arcade game broke down, and I remember that. And so it's just kind of a history in the home Pong game and how the breakout. So these are just little snippets. This looks like just snippets of the different arcade games by Atari. So let's go back. Okay, so that's the arcade origins. Okay, that's what that's about. So that's pretty cool. Oh, okay. I'm not using I do have a RetroPie emulator on a Raspberry Pi, but kind of the purpose, what I was hoping to do is maybe stream them on my PC as far as your games there, Cannabis Kid. So let's get to the birth of the console. So hopefully this will talk about the 2600. See what this is about. Okay. September of 1977. I remember that year. And let me explain something. That was the year that I begged my parents to get me a 2600. And it says right here that at launch it was $199. And at that time, that was in today's dollars, $950. And I begged my parents to get that for us. And they did it. We got that for Christmas that year. That was about the only thing we got. It came with one game. It was Air Sea Battle because we got the Sears Telegames version. And that's we played that to death until we could save up some money to get some games. So that's what we did back in those days. And of course, Combat came with the 2600 originally, and then Air Sea Battle was with the Telegames version. And then I guess these are some of the launch games. Now I never had the keyboard controller. I never had a need for it. Hey Darren, you got yours in 1980. I'm curious. I can't remember. I think you told me one time how old you are, but I think you're about my age. Now Activision games, when Activision games came out, man, I was so excited because it was obvious from the very beginning that their games were of higher quality to me. Yeah, we once we discovered that, we were actively looking for Activision games. Okay, you're a little younger than me. I'm 57, so yeah, that kind of makes sense. So you were about that age. We got them around the same time. I guess you were around 11 years old, 10 or 11 years old when you got your 2600. Okay, I'll try that out, Cannabis. I'll try it out. I'll see what happens. I'll try to run it from the zip files. So Adventure Man, that Adventure Man, that at the time that was a frustrating game to me because I wasn't sure what to do, and that the hardest part for me was that dumb bat. I couldn't stand it when that would steal either a key or a sword or whatever. Oh man. And of course dodge them and missile command. Warlords would have been a great game had you had 4 paddles and 4 players. Of course it was okay with 2, but it'd been really awesome if you'd had 4 players playing that game. And of course Asteroids was a classic. I never had Haunted House. Nor did I have Yar's Revenge. I discovered that later. So uh-oh, they're talking about the Intellivision. They're bringing it up. Competition. If it wasn't for them controllers, man. 5200 I never had. And having an analog controller to try to play all the games wasn't a smart move. It just wasn't. It was good for some of the games, but and of course the crash, the video game crash. And then by the time some of these games came out, man, I was kind of done with it. I was into the by the time the 5200 and the 7800 came out, I was into the Atari 8-bit computer stuff. I had a Atari 800 XL, and I was teaching myself BASIC and whatnot. So yeah, so here we are, the dawn of the PCs. This is where I was into it, right here. I had gotten past all that. They said the I word. Operation Shutdown said the Intellivision is the I word. Now, these membrane keyboards, I didn't like that idea. So expensive. I mean, $4.99 doesn't sound like a lot, but man, if $199 was $920 or whatever today, for something like that, I mean, that's nearly $1,700 for something like that. That was a solid piece of. Now the 800 was a lot better built, but the RAM chips were plugged into the back of it, if I remember correctly. I didn't have that one. I had the 800 XL. But it was a gaming PC, but I never really utilized it for that. And that was part of the problem, is I don't think Atari really, they didn't market it for that. And I did have a modem. I bought me, don't laugh. I mean, you know, we laugh about the 56K modems that we had. I had an 8 baud modem. 8 baud. It was so slow. As the 1200 XL, I had the 800. Yeah, I imagine the 8-bit computers were high. By the time they came out, I was I think I was around 17 or so, and I had a job, and I was saving my money, and I bought my own. I taught myself BASIC, and now here we go with the ST. And eventually, after I got out on my own and got married, I bought me a 520 ST. And I was going to be an engineer, and then I changed my major to computer science. And then life changed. I ended up being working in the maintenance department at the United States Postal Service until I retired. I just retired about a year ago. That's why I started the channel. I needed something to do. So Atari comes roaring back. I gotta see this. Okay, I gotta see this. The Lynx, yeah, they came roaring back. You know, the Lynx came out, if I remember correctly, it was around the time that the Game Boy did. The screen was about the same size, but it was color. But the problem is that the third-party programmers didn't want to program for it, and it was so expensive. And it just couldn't compete. It just couldn't compete. And it sold probably not even 10% the amount that the Game Boy did. I'd say probably 5 to 8%. Yeah, $179, and I think the Game Boy was like $89 or something. Yeah, the kids didn't want to buy it. Now, 7800, I just recently acquired a 7800, and the problem with the 7800 was that when it came out, they actually had the technology and had the unit. It was built, but they had some legal issues with it. I won't go into all that, but by the time they actually released it, the NES and the Master System had already been released, and by that time the technology had already was outdated compared to the NES and the Master System, so it couldn't compete with those two. And so the games were inferior to it, and they tried to make it backwards compatible with the 2600, which was a nice gesture, but a little too late for one thing. And in doing so, they kept they used the same sound chip as the 2600, so the sound was horrible, except for games that had the Pokey chip, and those games were really expensive to buy. So, and then the Jaguar, I don't know much about the Jaguar, but I just know that it was a catastrophic failure from the very beginning. I want to say that maybe there were like 150,000 units sold, something like that. Let me go back. It was about $250. Doesn't say. I'd have to look, but I think I saw somewhere there's not very many. And the controller, I don't know about that. I would love to have a Jaguar now with a game collection, but that's an expensive console to collect for now, and the games are expensive also. So as much as I would love to have that, now this here, price is coming down, and Atari they're still selling it. And they offer bundles sometimes at some halfway decent. They've lowered the price, but to me, it's just a kind of a higher end Raspberry Pi, if you ask me. The controllers, the stick controller, it's the better controller of the two. The one that's like the Xbox controller is kind of a cheap knockoff of an Xbox controller, and you compare a Xbox controller like this one to it, you might as well just buy one of those and use it instead. And I don't know, it's just there's just not enough to it to make it appealing for me. It's just not retro enough. And it doesn't have enough support. It's just not. I mean, if the price were right, and the urge hit me just right, I might do it. But yeah, let's move on. Now the Recharge series, that's another story. The Recharge series that they've been releasing recently does intrigue me, and those games when they are on sale on Steam, I'll pick up. I've gotten a number of those. I can't remember. I don't know if I have all of them, but I have most of them. So, and I have played them on this channel. So, oh, you know what? I forgot. There's actually some videos here. Let's watch. Let's watch. There
was no console war. in the beginning. There was, in the beginning there was only Atari, and the children looked upon it and saw that it was good and bought Atari, and then asked for Atari games for every Christmas and birthday. The Easter eggs, finding the Easter eggs in Howard's game and Warren's game, those were huge moments for me in my childhood, and my favorite early gaming experiences, especially finding that room in Adventure. That path that whoever found the Easter egg, follows those clues, and then discovers this, this secret room, this message hidden by the creator of the game, who I didn't even know who he was. And here's his name, and a whole secret room, that most kids who play this game never found. I found this secret place left by the creator, with a message for me. It was profound, and the first time that it ever happened in a video game. And so years later, when I was, I think had the initial idea for Ready Player One, was what if Willy Wonka had been a video game designer? And what if he held his golden ticket contest inside a video game? And that immediately made me think of the secret room at Adventure, and how that could be, how he finds his worthy successor, instead of a tour through the factory where he slowly kills off all the children. It could be an Easter egg hunt inside this, sprawling video game, and it could be hidden the way that those Easter eggs were hidden in the Atari games. And so there's no way I ever would have written Ready Player One if I hadn't grown up with an Atari and playing those games and finding those Easter eggs.
As I was reading through it, there was just so much familiarity in there. It felt like, as I was reading it, that the person who had written it, that I grew up with them. Because some of the names that were in there, some of the locations, some of the references were things that I thought only I knew, and nobody else in the world would understand or appreciate any of it. My literal opening, my email to him, before anything blew up on Ready Player One, my literal opening was just like, we have to know each other, because there's things in this book that only I know. Where did we meet before? That was the beginning of our full communication, which led to the stacks.
He read Ready Player One, and it spoke to him, and he sent me an email that said, hey, I make video games for a living, and your book really spoke to me, and if you ever want to make a video game, let me know. And I was right in the middle of trying to figure out if I could somehow do a promotional contest for the paperback that mirrored the contest in the novel. I wanted to do some sort of contest with 3 video game challenges and a grand prize at the end of it. And because Mike made that offer, I took him up on it. I'm like, oh, well, we could make an Atari game that you have to beat as the first challenge, and it could be the game that Wade makes in the novel.
Part of what made the book feel like it was written for me is because of the context around the 2600 rite of passage in there. Because for programmers in the game industry, 2600 is this really difficult platform to develop games for. To get anything to even appear on screen, to get anything to even work correctly, you have to just break your brain and rid it of everything that you understand about how games are developed today, and go back to this kind of primitive, primordial way of coding. And so for a lot of programmers, it is a rite of passage. If you can do that, you can do anything.
Wade makes his own game, and it's the Stacks. It's based on his life in the Stacks, and he describes it as a Pitfall ripoff that has you climbing around the stacked trailers, looking for food voucher power-ups and trying to avoid pedophiles. And it's like a 1-paragraph description of this game. But I sent it to Mike, and he's like, oh, hell yeah.
And so I had dabbled over the years with trying to understand 2600 programming. I'd made a couple small games, a couple hacks. So when this kind of came around, it was the perfect excuse to just finally deliver something that was all original and build something from the ground up. Once it started to work, it was completely satisfying. I felt like I had mastered what the greatest engineers in the world have mastered before me, and that I finally had an understanding of it. And to get there, of course, I had to enlist some help. And so that help came in the form of Kevin Wilson, our CTO at Digital Eclipse. I didn't mention this before, but we only had a few weeks to pull this off. So we were not only trying to learn 2600, but we're also given the time frame that basically ET had to try to get this game out the door. So we were reliving the worst of Atari's development history all over again, and I savored every second of it.
in our original contest version, all the items are hidden in the same place, which is great because we had people making maps. For like the first time since they were kids, they were making maps of the stacks to remember. So if they died, they could go back and find where the items were. But then they added randomization, and now it might be one of the best Atari games ever made. Not to brag, but the stacks is pretty deep and pretty replayable for an Atari game. That's why I think Atari is always going to hold a special place in the hearts of people like me, just because it was, it was the first, and it was, so needed. We were so bored in the late 70s. We needed video games at home so badly. The fact that other better consoles came later is because they saw the giant cultural and economic behemoth that Atari immediately became. Atari created the video game industry, the home video game industry, and everybody that's come since then is, kind of building on what Atari created.
That's so cool. I never knew there was an Easter egg in Yar's Revenge. I'm gonna have to check that out. I never knew that. So let's hear what Nolan Bushnell has to say. Negus, you're right, man. I mean, why buy that when you can buy an Xbox Series S,
Video games were almost considered to be a bastardization of this wonderful technology. Why are you using it for fun when you could be creating missiles? I think we stood for innovation, and also we were the genesis story of the video game, which is kind of important. So I think you always have a hallowed position when you're the first.
Yeah.
When we chose the Fuji logo, I wanted it to be an upward swoosh. And I think that if you look at the Atari logo, it's a collective, it's aspirational, just in the nature of the graphic.
Easter eggs in all the games, huh?
Atari, I lifted it from the Game & Go. So it's a game word. But I hadn't realized that it also means bullseye.
Right.
It also means jackpot. So, it's got this affirmative. In fact, I was talking to a Japanese guy one time, and he says, very good name, Atari. Perhaps a bit boastful for Japanese.
You're like, spot on for Americans.
Spot on for Americans.
Yeah.
One of the ethos of Atari was work hard, play hard. So we always had games, not just Atari games, but foosball and pool tables in the snack rooms and what have you. What that said was, we don't care when you come to work. If you come to work, get your job done, we're okay. We're all adults here. And we don't care how you come to work. You want to wear tennis shorts and blue jeans? Do you want to wear a tuxedo? We don't care. We had one guy that liked to wear ball gowns, but that's another story. I could tell some stories, though, about how I used to mess with the people who copied me.
Oh, please. All right. Love to hear that.
Okay. Atari started by building games that you could do in a garage shop. So anybody that had a garage shop could copy us. And so of the 150,000 estimated Pong-type games that were created, Atari only shipped 30,000 of them. So we got less than a fifth of our market.
Right.
And so as we innovated, people would start copying us. And I thought, I'm going to get them. So I had our semiconductor suppliers. We were kind of a big deal in the semiconductor industry because they were selling a lot to the military and that sort of thing, but they'd sell 20 or 100 chips. We were buying thousands.
Right.
And so I had them mismark the chips. so that we had
That you guys were using.
that we were using.
So if somebody tried to reverse engineer it.
So
wow.
if they reversed engineer and just bought off the shelf those same numbers, they'd populate the board and they wouldn't work.
Did you ever hear of anybody doing that?
Oh yeah. We in
That's
fact
brilliant.
we
great.
had one company that basically declared bankruptcy because they had a whole floor full of machines that they worked because they were hurrying to do it.
Oh man.
And we had the temerity to have a champagne party on their front lawn. We celebrated their demise and invited them, of course.
Did they show up?
No.
What do you think Atari's role is, not just in video games, but in popular culture today?
Well, I think that Atari has an unassailable role as being the Genesis story. I believe that it is understood by a lot that it succeeded because of creativity. 30 of those years, it was kind of in hands that were not kind to it. Don't say anything bad. So I think that pieces of the brand were damaged. Not irrevocably, but it could have been husbanded better. And so right now, I think that it would be good to take
You guys, I'm going to step away for just a minute. I'll be right back, all right?
legacy and push it forward into the future.
Well, that didn't work. I didn't realize the video was going to be done so soon. Sorry about that. Okay, let's continue on then. As we were. Let's go back. I think we've explored kind of the history of the company. I think if we were to go back, we were to click on this, we probably missed some videos. And we could have clicked on each one of these and we probably could have played some of these games. See? Yeah, I didn't realize you can actually play some of these games. I was a little confused because it said the game library was up top. So let me click. I want to see if there's any games on this one. Yes, there's games here too. I'm confused. Well, let's go up top and check out the game library. Now, these are the reimagined games. Now, the thing of it is, if I click on them, they're going to want to play. And if I remember correctly, once you get into them, they're a little tough to get out. So let me just kind of scroll through them so I can kind of show you what they are. And then you guys can kind of let me know what you want me to play. The Reimagined Yard's Revenge is fun. That's a lot of fun. Now, these are just the straight up yard arcade games. Which, by the way, I don't know if you guys know, I picked me up Arcade 1-Up Asteroids cabinet this week. But the buttons worked. They all worked. But man, I was playing, and I was doing really good in the game, And man, I was smashing the buttons and my hand was getting so tired because the buttons were kind of mushy. You know, like you'd have to press down and it was just too, you know, I just didn't like the action of the buttons. So I ordered some buttons. I'm going to have to, let me see. Well, let me look to see if Tempest 2000 is on here. We'll look at that one. But yeah, I might do a video on upgrading that cabinet because I'm expecting the buttons, and I ordered I looked into it. There's a lubricant, a special lubricant that you can get to fix the spinners. And of course, the 2600 games, they've got to give you that. Now these games here, they're confidential, and what these are, I'll tell you what these are. These games are games that you have to unlock them by completing missions in other games. And I can't remember. They don't really tell you what they are, so you have to play the other games, to find out what they are, and they tell you what you unlock after you play the other games. So it kind of encourages you to play all the other games. So it can take some time. There's other people who have done it, and you can look online to find out how to do that. But we're not going to do that here. So, so anyway, let's continue on. Look at the game list here. I didn't look to see exactly how many games were actually on here. All the Sword Quest series is here. I thought for sure Yar's Return would be on here. So we got 5,200 games, but only 4 of them. Okay. 7,800. Some Lynx games. Some 8-bit computer games. There's the Jaguar Cars games. That's not a bad game right there. It's not quite in the same conversation as Mario Kart, but it's not bad. It's nice that there's your Tempest, man. All right, we're here, and we're at the end anyway. Darren, you got me, man. You got me, man. I don't know how good I'm going to play, but we're doing it. Select the game type.
Excellent, 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 excellent.
Can't move. Doggone it. I have to use my thumbstick. It's kind of awkward. Dang it. I like the graphics though. I gotta get Matt. I got a Matt. Dang it. Ah. Is Jeff Mentor the person who did this game, Darren? All right. I'm nowhere close to being on the Top Gun level. Let's continue on.
Excellent, 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 excellent.
Dang it. I don't know how to turn correctly. Dang it. If I had auto fire, I could just... Trying to figure out how to turn here. Trying to learn the controls. See, up. Okay. I see now. I'm trying to move up and down, left, right, and it should just be left, right on the controls. That's my problem. So I figured that out just now. So there's a jump button. Now you tell me. Okay, let's try it. Hopefully it's B. Ah, too fast. Dang it. Starting to get the hang of it, but Ah. I don't, well, it's not B. I'm hitting B and nothing's happening, so. Ah. It's not X either. Ah. I'm doing better. Let's play that one more time and then we'll look at another game on the collection. Oh, I don't know what I hit. Dang it. Good night. All right, come on, go over.
Super Zapper Recharge.
One up.
Dang it. Ah. Dang it. Ah, poop. I'm getting better at it. Oh, okay. I'll figure it out. That's my problem. I like playing video games, but I never play them long enough to be so good at them that I actually know what I'm doing. All right. Let's see, how do we get out of this? I didn't want to do that. I'm trying to go back. There we go. Okay. Let's see what else is there. Missile Command 3D, I never played that. Food Fight was always a good one. Like I said, links, they really don't, there's not much here for the links, obviously, but actually the 7800 version of Asteroids is really well done. I'm very surprised though. I don't think that this collection of 2600 games is very large. Seems to me like it would be larger than this. Little disappointing. Then they have regular Tempest. I want to look at this. I want to see the vector graphics on this. Pretty good. Dang it. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Not too bad. Not too bad. Nobody cares about mediocrity. All right, let's get out of here. All right. The arcade one-up cabinet that I just got has Asteroids, Major Havoc, Lunar Lander, and Tempest on it. So it has all our Atari games on it. So I was really excited about that. They all look really, really good. Now I want to show you this. This is probably the last thing I'm going to show you in this collection because we've been on here about an hour, but I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is really nice. It's different. It's not the same as Yar's Revenge Recharged. It's different. Oh, dang it. Oh, dang it. Hard. That thing, I can't see it. I haven't played this in a while. Dang it. I've got an Xbox, my Xbox One controller, and when I killed it, the controller was vibrating. Oh. Dang it, I thought I got away. Oh, thought for sure it was gonna go down. I went up. That thing, I can't get a clear look at it with my eye. Dang it! Right in the way. Oh no. That was a great shot, man. Let's go again. I am not playing well. See you, Darren. Have a good day, buddy. Cannot focus on two places at once. Ah, dang it. I thought I could avoid him. Dog, do you see that? I did to myself that time. Oh well. Well, guys, I've had a lot of fun. It's a quick look at the Atari 50th Celebration. It's kind of a second look for us. Bunch of games on here. But anyway, that's it for this edition of Have You Played Atari Today? If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and turn on your notifications because you don't want to miss when we do this again. So with that, you guys, thanks for coming. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.